All right, all right, all right now. Well, hey now, good beautiful people. Hey now, hey now. So Mission Brand New, you here, Dr. Steph here. And listen, are you ready for some real talk, real healing, real transformation, and oh, some personal stuff? Listen, grab your tea, grab your truth, and maybe a tissue because we're getting ready to get started without further delay. Because we said 1 hour of power. So I'm gonna bring up our guests. We all know them. Y'all gonna meet them. If you haven't met them, you meet them today. So come on, Coach Hattie. Come on to the stage, Coach Hattie. Woo, listen. I'm not gonna tell y'all about Coach Hattie. Coach Hattie's gonna tell you about Coach Hattie. So you already know this is Dr. Steph. But Coach Hattie, I want you to take a moment real quick to tell them who you are, how you serve, and then we'll come back and learn more about Coach Hattie. Coach Hattie is all you.
Ashe, Ashe. Sisters, great evening. I am so honored to be here this evening. And this evening, I'm just stepping in to talk about some truths, to talk about some lies that we are living in that is causing us much pain, much misery that we need to get on the other side of. I'm just stepping in to talk about healing, how easy it is, and how sickness is hard. So that's what I'm going to be talking about this evening, and I'm looking forward to that discussion. Peace and blessings.
Thank you, Coach Hattie. Coach Hattie will be back in just a moment, y'all. Just a moment. Real quick, real quick. Coach Hattie, thank you for being here. Thank you for your yes. All right, coming to the stage next is Coach Kimberly. Coach Kimberly, real quick, tell everybody who you are, how you serve. We're just going to jump right into it, but I'm going to pop out because it's all you.
All right. I tell you what, that music had me bumping. I love that music. So, for all of you out there, my name is Kimberly Simons, and I am thy sister's keeper. I am so excited to have this time with you all tonight. Just to let you all know a little bit about me and what I do. I don't know if you all have heard the news, but there is a loneliness epidemic happening in our world right now. And I'm going to talk to you all a little bit more about that. But I want you all to understand that we are so much better together than we are apart. So, we as women, it's our time. It's our time to come together as a sisterhood. And this is not just a talk for tonight. This is not just a momentary conversation. This is the beginning of a movement. This is a mission that I have, and I'm going to tell you all about my sister's keeper when we come back. Can't wait to talk to you.
There I go. Unmute, sister. Unmute. So listen, I got so many questions. So this is where we're gonna start. So this is the thing, y'all. We're gonna be popping in and out because y'all got lots of juice to give. But I'm gonna ask this first question of Hattie. So Hattie, well,
Yes.
actually both of you. I want you both to be prepared. Look at me, this little mic. Let me get it on the other side of the mic. All right. So both of you are leading movements that call for Black women to rise
That's right.
spiritually, emotionally, and physically. What was the defining moment when you realized that your personal pain was actually the blueprint for your purpose? So I want you to think about that question. I want you to answer it when you're up and you're giving, tell them a little bit more about what it is you do, how you serve, and a little bit of your story. So I want you, Coach Kimberly, to first
Yes.
begin. Tell them a little about yourself, your story, how you serve, why you do what you do when you do. Oh, I feel like a song's coming on. How do you, what you do when you do that? I'm
Yes.
not fooling with y'all. Okay, Coach Kimberly, it's yours. It's yours.
Okay, so I want to tell you all about something that happened to me that showed me just how loneliness can really just stifle your development and just throw a monkey wrench into all your plans. So I spoke a little bit earlier just about the loneliness epidemic that we are going through right now. And those are not my words, by the way. There is the Surgeon General who reported that nearly half of Americans report being lonely. And as a result, there has been this big movement to get everybody into communities. And I'm coming to you tonight because of that need. All right. So I don't know how many of you all are out there that I'm talking to, whether you can relate, but I just want you to think for a moment. How many of you have ever felt alone, even though you were standing in a room full of people? I want to see in the chat, how many of you have ever felt alone, even in a room full of people? And how many of you feel alone at this very moment? Okay, I want you all to drop some ones in the chat. Drop some ones in the chat if any of you are feeling lonely now, or if you've ever felt alone, regardless of how many people were around you. For me, there was a time where I felt so lonely. I see those ones coming in. I felt so lonely that I felt like I could disappear and no one would ever miss me. How many of you have ever felt that? Drop a one in the chat. Drop a one in the chat if you've ever had a dream for your life, but when you tell others, you can't seem to find anyone to sign off on believing you can actually accomplish that dream. And I want you to drop a one in the chat if you've ever found yourself in such a predicament of brokenness that you thought no one could possibly understand. So I might as well give up. My first year in college, I was raped. And not only did I not report it, I didn't tell my family, the people closest to me. I told none of them. In addition to that, the shame, the loneliness, the fear that had now been just all around me, I thought that I would be better off if I took my life. And I don't know if any of you have ever felt this, if I'm just talking to myself, if I'm the only one who's ever been in that deep darkness. But it was years before I finally realized that God had saved me for a reason. And it's for a time such as this. Because I realized later in life that there are so many more things that bond us together as women than the things that separate us. And we don't realize that. We don't take the time to really think about that. Women have kind of this vision that we can't get along with each other, that we can't rely on each other. And that can't be farther from the truth. Not only should we be relying on each other, but it really is part of our survival. When you think about the fact that women throughout years and years of their lives, all the things that they go through, women go through traumatic experiences, whether it be assault, whether it be miscarriages, whether it be the loss of a loved one, whatever it may be, depression is a huge thing that we battle. But the problem is that we do it alone. We go through life feeling like no one can possibly understand what I'm dealing with. We act like no one can relate to what it is that we're doing and what we're dealing with. The moment that I realized that so many of the women that I was coming in contact with had all experienced some level of, whether it be trauma, whether it be depression, whether it be just some life-changing event, I began to realize the connections that are being wasted, that are being overlooked, that are needed, like I said, for our survival. Believe it or not, it's actually something that impacts our health. So we really need to begin to lean into each other and lean on each other, support each other. When I finally started to notice this pattern, this trend of woman after woman after woman feeling the need to isolate themselves, much like I did after my rape, that's when I realized there's a need. There's something here. And that's when I decided I wanted to be that person, and that perhaps that was why I've experienced so many life-changing events, because I can't help others if I haven't experienced those things. So that's when I realized we need to have sister friends around us at all times. And who better than to stand up and lead that cause than me? Why can't I do it? Why can't I be the one? So that was when I realized the need for Thy Sister's Keeper. And it's not just about being around your sisters, it is also an important movement to ground ourselves back in the truth of what God says about us. And God, in the Bible, even encourages those communities, those connections. So that was why I came up with Thy Sister's Keeper. And you all are going to hear me talking so much more about it. But just so you know, if you feel like you are in need of community, please come and check us out. I'm on Facebook. I am on Instagram. I will be dropping my links in the chat. I have some special gifts for you all. And I definitely want you all to make sure that you at me on social media at Thy Sister's Keeper. Encircling women with a reason, a way, and a sister in the storm. We can only succeed beyond our wildest dreams if we are helping each other. Thank you all.
Oh, come on, Coach Kimberly. Coach Kimberly, you talked about, because you have your brand is Thy Sister's Keeper.
Yes.
How do you help women give themselves permission to pause, to speak, and to heal in the community?
Well, I'll tell you, one of the ways is by doing it. When you can actually speak authentically and truthfully about what you have been through, when you allow yourself to be vulnerable with others, you give them permission to let down their guards and to lean in and lean on others. If you speak, and it's a brave thing, if you can speak about your goals and your dreams with others, you give them permission to dream. And that's what we're all about. We're all about helping each other finally be free to step out boldly into what God is calling you to do.
That's a message. That's a message. And you said something powerful. We don't shrink in the face of our doubts. You talk about that, but how do you help women who don't know? They don't know where their doubts end and their truths begin.
I'm going to tell you, so much of what we carry about who we are was not what we came into this world with. So much of what we think of ourselves it comes from what society has handed down to us, what our parents, our friends, people that we interact with. So we first have to go back to, what are the things that I'm struggling with? What are the beliefs that are not mine? What are the beliefs that are not my Heavenly Father's? Where is the difference? You know, He has told us that we are we are of a royal priesthood. We are daughters of the Most High, which means we have all power that He gives through us. We need to walk and live as if we have that power. We should not be shrinking. We should not fall under that weight of doubt that so many people around us will hand down to us just because the person next to you doesn't think you can do it. What does God say? What does God say? So you have to go back and you have to think about, what beliefs are mine versus somebody else's, and address those beliefs. Call them out, because they're lies. Call them what they are. They're lies.
That's a powerful message. That's a powerful message. Thank you. Thank you. Also, Coach Kimberly will be back, but now we got to hear from Coach Hattie. Thank you, Coach Kimberly.
Yes.
Yes, yes, yes. Coach Hattie. I know you've been back there in the winds, but I know you've been pondering the question, so I'm not gonna belabor the point, but I'm gonna give the stage to you. I want you to tell the folks about who you are, how you serve, how you came to be serving the way that you have. So the stage is yours.
Ashe. Thank you so much, Coach Stephanie. I came to what I am. I'm a holistic practitioner, twice certified holistic practitioner. But most importantly, I'm a health warrior. And that's because I know that my God given purpose on this planet is, one, to have deep love for all humanity, but at the same time, build a movement, particularly of women, Black women in particular, so that we can fulfill on our God given purpose, whatever that might be for us. But what I've learned is that because we are leaving the planet prematurely, we're unable to fulfill on God's promises, or our promises to the Most High God. When I was 7, I lost my mother. And I promised her spiritually that I was going to find out why she died, so that no other little girl would have to go through the pain of losing their mother as well. But I really want to know why she died. So that became my quest, for real, for real. And it wasn't until I think I went to Egypt that I learned about holistic medicine, that I really began to see the importance of women not leaving the planet, not leaving their children, not leaving our families prematurely. Because of what I know to be true is, we are the wombs of civilization. We are everything. And when we heal, the planet heals. When we rise, the world rises. So for me, that's a pretty powerful place for us to be. But at the same time, I see that there's a big movement in the world today to increase the deaths of Black women and humanity as a whole. And frankly, it's not an option. But at 7, when I decided I wanted to know why my mother died, it took me 27 years before I found the truth. But once I found that truth, I became committed, because I realized that I'm sitting in a room. I had just gotten back from Egypt, but I learned about holistic medicine. I came home And I got involved in a course with Queen Afua, which I'm sure many of you know, Dr. Layla Africa, which I'm sure you know. And I became a practitioner of natural medicine, a naturopathic practitioner. And the day I graduated, my cousin, whom I hadn't seen, she'd been in Chicago all her life. I've been in Chicago for like 10 years and I hadn't met her. But anyway, I get this phone call and she go, Hattie, come and meet me. I want you to come with me to see this doctor that's in town. And I go, yo, cool, I didn't know the doctor, but I just thought we were going to hang out. But in any event, she don't show to the meeting. That's how I know this is all God. And in the meeting is Dr. Joel Wallach. And he begins to talk about why we die. And he starts talking about aneurysms, blood clots, and strokes. And he says they are a copper deficiency. I immediately got pissed, started crying, because that is what that was the information that I had been searching for since my mother died, is why she died. She had an aneurysm, she had a stroke. And this doctor was telling me that I lost my mother because of a simple copper deficiency. See, that don't make sense to me. It didn't make sense to me, as I said in that auditorium, but it also made me commit myself 100% to educating our people that we don't have to be dying from all of these diseases because they're all reversible. The body created them, and God's body can reverse them as well. And that's all this doctor talked about: heart disease, diabetes, autoimmune diseases, and how they were all connected to a mineral deficiency. Now, this is really nothing new because it's been taught, right? It's in the pages of many science journals that every time we get sick, I don't care if it's a pimple on your face, it is due to your body being deficient in a mineral. So I'm like, cool. If that's all it is, then why don't we just take some minerals? That should be easy. The problem is our medical model got rid of all the natural healers who were using herbs and minerals and vitamins to help us heal. When the medical schools were created, they were created by the pharmaceutical companies, the same people that created the drugs that killed the Jews in Germany. Then they came here. The same people who created drugs to find out how Black men would die from syphilis and all kinds of things. But in any event, the medical schools are owned and controlled by the drug industry, the pharmaceuticals. And they did not teach our doctors anything about nutrition. I think doctors will tell you that maybe they got an hour, but it wasn't mandatory. Most of them didn't go to it, which makes sense, right? You spent 8, 12 years going to medical school, learning everything else, and then they give you an hour of nutrition. Of course you can't take that seriously. But what we have found that today, all of the diseases that we are losing our lives to are nutritional. That's why when you go to your doctor, because you have a pain or you have a headache or whatever's going on with you, they don't get rid of it, but they can manage it. And it will keep you being a diabetic, not just for 10, 20, 30 years, but for all of your life. Or heart disease or cancer. So we're learning that all of the diseases that we are suffering from today, we don't have to. And that's important, because we don't have to, then let's not. But part of it is because we have these beliefs. You know what they say, you tell a lie long enough, right? It becomes the truth. But one of the lies that we have been taught is that everything that we're going through is genetic. Well, your mama had it, your daddy had it, your brother had it, your cousin had it. So naturally, if you have diabetes, you have to keep it for the rest of your life. Take these drugs. Heart disease, you have to keep it for the rest of your life. Whole 9 yards. And as a result, we have fallen into a law or a complacency that, well, ain't nothing I can do. Ain't nothing my doctor can do. So I just might as well accept it. And I'm here to say that that's not an option. It's not an option because we have too much work to do on the planet. To create our heaven on earth, we have too much work to do to allow these doctors who are let me not go there. To allow this industry, this pharmaceutical industry, who makes trillions upon trillions of dollars off of our sickness, off of our pain and dis-ease, to win. When we know all we have to do is change what we put in our mouths. Lean into what God said, that I have put herbs, fruit-growing trees, everything you need to heal on earth for the healing of man. And every time we do that, every time my clients come to me and that is our protocol, they heal. I always tell my clients, give me 90 days. Dr. Wallach says, give me 90 days. Why? Because we have learned that when you start putting in the things that our temples need, the way God created us, when you give it what it needs, it thrives. You know, the other thing that we don't talk about anymore is how regenerative our bodies are. Do you know the body transforms, becomes new every 7 to 10 years? You become a new skin every 3 to 5 days. Your bones, your liver, every year. So imagine if we were putting in God's medicine in our temples. And every 10 years we had a new body. That means it's going to be stronger. It's going to be more agile. You're going to be jumping and bumping way into your hundreds. As God said, we have the propensity to live way into our hundreds, 120, 125. But we have studies of people living way into their 200s, 300s, not with a sickness in their body. Because God didn't give us a body not to serve us. Our bodies were consciously made so that whatever happened, if the body created it, it also had the ability to uncreate it, to reverse it. And the only way to do that is when we understand and give the body what it needs. So that's when I realized, once I realized that piece, once I understood how we get sick and how we can reverse it, that's what made me realize the centrality, the importance of us, women, young women, but also women, our seniors. Too many seniors think just because you done got 50 and 60 that you're supposed to be prepared to lay down and die. That's not an option. Because we too have to give back. Our babies need the wisdom that we've gathered over the years. It's not time to be laying down and giving up. So that's why I'm here today. Not to be about judging, but to reawaken this inner drive in us to want to win, to want to get well, to want to heal.
Ooh, Coach Hattie, so listen, I got some jewels I picked up from here. You said healing is easy when we give the body God's original medicine. That's radical, and I love it. In a world that tells us that healing is complicated and expensive. Can you break that down for us? And what's one mineral or shift or both that every woman watching tonight, woman or man, watching tonight or watching tomorrow or watching next week, should consider starting with?
Ashe. Well, let me just say this. Scientifically, this is what we know. What the body needs is 60 minerals. None of those minerals are in the soil. The government consciously stripped the soil of everything. So, but we need 60 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, 3 essential fatty acids. One of the things that I want to give Dr. Stephanie, your audience, with is a chart. It's a mineral deficiency chart. And it will show, you can look at this chart and say, oh, I got this. And it'll tell you what you're deficient in. So the body needs 90 essential nutrients. And Dr. Joe Wallach, which is why one of the reasons why I love him so much, is because of the work he's done over the last 50 plus years. He had the book in the Smithsonian Institute that outlines 900 diseases that he's personally reversed and prevented with nutrients. And he's created a package for us. Easy breezy, make a drink in the morning, you get all your minerals, all your vitamins, all your essential fatty acids, and keep it moving. You know, because we don't have time to be taking, 60 minerals. But in a drink we do. So the other thing that I want us to do, particularly as women, is to take selenium. Selenium, I'm thinking, is important because it says that women who take selenium, 68% you will not get cancer. That by itself is just powerful. But we need the other minerals too. And selenium is just one of them.
So you talk about minerals like they and I agree with you, like the sacred tools that they are, right? They're not just supplements. What's a common myth that Black women in particular believe about their health that you're working to help us to unlearn, and particularly your clients? What's one, something you're trying to fight to help them to unlearn?
The biggest thing that I'm working on right now is this myth around cholesterol. People give me lectures all the time. Oh my God, you're going to get, your cholesterol is going to be too high. You're eating butter. Oh my gosh, you got to lower your cholesterol. There are scientific studies. There's studies from the Mayo Clinic going way back to 2012. There's studies in Germany, all over the world. There are studies that say one thing: cholesterol is not the problem. Cholesterol is not this evil boogeyman that our doctors keep telling us. And as
Wait a minute, ahead. Well, what in the book? Okay, so so cholesterol is not a problem, because that's in the community. We talk about cholesterol and blood pressure.
Yes.
And diabetes, and we call it everything but diabetes, diabeticals. We call it all kinds of stuff. But talk to me about this. Come on, come on in here, Dr. K. Come on into the cholesterol.
This cholesterol myth is one of the biggest myths that's hurting us. It's causing us more sickness than anything else. And I say that because your liver God created your liver to make cholesterol. 75% is made by your liver. Your brain is 99% cholesterol. So when you take a statin drug, it stops your liver from making what God wanted it to make. And your brain is the first place to lose it. There are statistics that show that Alzheimer's, dementia, and cholesterol and statins, when they introduced statins, the rate of dementia and Alzheimer's went up parallel. Because when you take it from here, it's got to have an impact, right? But so that's one of the reasons why I'm saying we got to get away from this cholesterol myth. And then they tell you they want you to have it so low. Cholesterol runs your entire body. Men, erectile dysfunction, no cholesterol, low cholesterol. Our hormones are crazy right now. We're all off the charts. That's because we don't have enough cholesterol.
Wait a minute. Coach, you're not going to breeze over that now. So we're coming back to that one. So you say erectile dysfunction is because it's too much or not enough cholesterol?
Cholesterol is the most important ingredient for your hormones.
Well, Lord,
when you stop having it, you lose the ability to do natural things. Like, that's why men have ED, because they don't have enough progesterone, estrogen in their body, because their hormones are being diminished. Women are worried about our hormones, right?
Right.
How do we balance them? Well, we're never going to balance them if we're taking statin drugs. So they cause more illness than they help. And they know it because the facts are out there. Their own institutions are telling them cholesterol is not the problem. And even with cholesterol, it does absolutely nothing to decrease death from heart attacks and other diseases. It's a fake theory, but it's killing us.
So believing that if we reduce our cholesterol will save us is a fake theory. Is that what
It's
you're
a
saying?
fake theory. The facts tell us otherwise. It has not decreased heart attacks or strokes. If anything, they've increased. There has been no decrease in strokes. There's been no decrease in heart disease. No
Wait a minute.
decrease, nothing. They're all on the rise. So how can you tell me that if I take a statin drug, it's going to lower it? The
Okay,
facts
so
say
I'm gonna ask you one more question, then I want you to tell me about this text real quick, okay?
okay.
So you work with so many women on their healing journey and men. What's one transformation that still gives you goosebumps? And what did he or she have to let go of to get there?
You know, for real, I say give me 90 days. And I say that because I know within 30 days I have made ex-diabetics. I know that within 60 to 90 days I've taken people off of the kidney, the dialysis. Rebuilt their kidneys because 90% of the time it's not the kidneys. That's the problem. But you only know that when you're dealing with holistic medicine. Or heart disease. In less than 90 days, it's reversed. I am so proud of what we do because I know we save people's lives. And all they got to do, all you got to do is one, take your minerals, right? Because now you're feeding your cells so they can do what God wanted them to do. And two, stop eating these ultra processed foods that's designed to kill us, that's inflaming our temples so much that our bodies can't breathe. That's all I'm asking you to do. And we will, instead of eating inflamed foods that's designed to kill us, we'll just eat some good vittles. Life is good. It's easy. But not doing that is going to cause you a lifelong life of misery and pain. Not an option.
Oh, you said a word there. All right, so Coach Hattie, tell us about down in the bottom of the screen, there's a ticker. And the ticker is telling individuals how they can get this free assessment, how they can get all the things. So tell them about that.
So this is what I want to offer your guests, your listeners, is to take a free, holistic health evaluation. I have other evaluations, but I'm offering you this free one. It will give you a health score so you'll know where you are, right? Closer to 100 you are, you're good. If you under, then we know we got some work to do. But it doesn't matter. The key thing is knowing where you are. So you get a free health assessment. Then you get a free consultation with me to go over your results. And then we will prepare a blueprint of how you go from where you are to where you want to get to. And then, like I said earlier, I will gift you this chart that you can hang up on your wall, and you can always refer to it when something is going on in your body, whether it be a headache, something with your toe, something with your skin, whatever it is, you can look on that chart and it'll tell you what you're deficient in. So then you know how to begin to move. So all I want you to do is something simple. Just text a sister, right? Just text me at 773, and it should be on the screen at the bottom, 773-704-6651. Just text the word yes. So I know you in. And leave me your name, and I'll send you all these gifts that I've talked about. And we'll begin a journey to get you on the other side. Healing is easy. It's sickness that is hard. So give me 90 days. Give me 90 days in your life and your family's lives so that we can change this scourge of sickness and disease that's running rampant through our communities, because It's not natural. It's not what God intended for us. And as women, we run everything. And this is one of the things we have to take the ball on and run with.
This is powerful. This is powerful stuff. And Dr. Katrina said that she already got her assessment. She just received hers. Come on, somebody, come on into the room. Let's bring Coach Kim. This has been powerful. If this has been powerful for you, I want you to go ahead and put a message in the chat wherever you are, whether you're on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, today, tomorrow, whatever day you're watching this. Go ahead and put in here powerful. Put your powerful in the chat for us so we know you are here with us. Come on back with us there. Doc, this has been good.
Okay, so yes, I had to type in my yes to that number. Absolutely. That was fire, Coach Hattie. That was amazing.
Oh my
Learned
God.
so much.
She messed me up the cholesterol. I was like, ooh.
That one right
because
there.
You know,
yes.
We have all heard it.
Yeah.
We have all heard it.
All the
lies. For those of you that are watching online, or even in it should be in the feed. But right now, if you want to go ahead and connect with Coach Kimberly, this is how you can connect with her. And I encourage you to go to their Facebook pages, to connect with them on social media, and to find out more, because this is 1 hour of purposeful power. You can't get everything you need in this 1 hour, because I know for sure, one thing for sure and two things for certain. I have the honor of meeting with these young, wonderful women once a week for the past, I mean, how many months has it been, ladies?
And
about 6 months. And I get to spend an enormous amount of time with them and learn more about what it is, what they do, how they serve, and how they bless. So you're going to have to connect with them. Look at this. I know that is right. Perfect Jefferson, Dr. Hattie. But you have to, let me see here. Oh, she said that she know that's right, but she's also, she got the link. She got it. But let me tell you, you all go into, and all of you as well, both of you, go into those and put your information in there, just right into those groups, whether it be on the YouTube, Facebook. Put your links directly in there if they're not already there. Just kind of go back, particularly if you see anyone's asking the questions. But I do want to ask you another question, Coach Kimberly.
Yes.
The power of a pause is your guide.
Yes.
But in a world that praises the hustle, what does pausing actually look like for a woman who's juggling kids, career, and of course that legacy building?
You have to steal away. You have to find that time. You have to set aside that time, because it is critical to have that time to read the word, to reflect on the word, to talk with the Lord, and just reflect on how it fits into what you're dealing with in life and how you plan to go forward with what you learn from speaking with the Lord. I look at it this way. If you don't talk to a friend for a long time and you get on the phone with them, the first few moments you're going to be like, who is this? Who is this? Oh, girl, I ain't talked to you in a long time. However, if you stay in touch with them, you recognize that voice like that. It's the same thing when you speak with God. When you stay in the word and you are in constant conversation with him, it doesn't matter if it's just a few minutes a day, if it's in between you're running around, being a mother, being a wife, being all the things that you are. If you stay in touch, guess what? When you're wondering, well, what does God want me to do? Well, how does God want me to handle this? I wish I knew what he meant about this. you already know because you recognize his voice.
And Kimberly, let me say something as well. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you.
Because I love Dr. Stephanie when you said, what does it mean to be still? And I remember when I first began my journey of meditating, and I didn't know really what that was, but I would go and I would sit in my closet.
Mm-hmm.
I would go sit in my closet, all the clothes all over the place, and I would find me a little whatever, and I would just close my eyes.
Yeah.
And it was so peaceful, so peaceful. And it's amazing how in that peace you begin to hear God speaking. And I mean, for a long time, I just cried. I just go in there, but that was okay because I needed to do it. And I just think that that's a good beginning, where you don't have to worry about, am I doing it right? Just go sit someplace.
Just sit any place. That's right.
And you talked earlier about how lonely people were.
Mm-hmm.
There's a statistic that just came out. It's a god awful statistic. Over 3 million people attempted suicide.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of people that's in pain.
Yeah.
A lot of people that's in pain. And part of it is because of all the drama that's going on in the world where people feel uncertain. We can't put our hands with, we just feel uncertain about our futures.
Right.
And even more reason why healing the temple is so critical.
Absolutely.
Because then you're feeding your brain and it gives you more options.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You're not, whew, girl, look, I just wanted to put that into space.
No, that's real talk.
It goes together. Absolutely.
You know that. So, as a matter of fact, I wanted to. Dr. Katrina, she was she shared the message, and it talked about this. She was right there with you in regards to that cholesterol, and Dr. Katrina, as you know, that it's maybe she is the biggest advocate for humans, right? And particularly those that can't advocate for themselves.
Yeah.
And so you were speaking all of no. Oh, she wants one of those charts that you talked about. She got to have one. She said.
I said,
But did you answer the question about the goosebumps?
about the,
Okay, so you've worked with so many women. And you answered that question about. I talked to you. Did I answer that question?
what was the question? I apologize.
You work with so many women on the healing journey. And what's one transformation that still gives you goosebumps? Did you answer that already?
Mm.
Well, I talked about getting people on the other side of heart disease, becoming ex-diabetics.
Let me ask you this, both of you. If every woman and man watching tonight could carry one truth in their spirit after this conversation, I want you to provide something to anchor their healing and fuel their rise. And if you could do those things, what would be that truth that you would share? Because I want you, one of the things that I don't want folks to do is to come and they hear the things that went well, how we're doing well. But I need you to speak to them from a place where you are helping other people. But what is your struggle while you're doing it? And how do you get on the other side of it? How do you heal while you're healing others?
I'm gonna tell you, I my entire life, I felt deep inside that there was something big that I was supposed to be doing. But I also struggled with the isolation, depression, as I said, the early assault, attempted suicide. And when I was unsuccessful with my suicide attempt, my initial reaction was not, wow, God must have a plan for me. My initial reaction was, I failed at that too. And it was only over time that I realized that I was here for a reason. And so throughout my life, and the closer that I've become with the Lord, there's no question in my mind that we are all here for a purpose. And this is what I want everybody to understand. There was a point in time where I was questioned about, how do I know that I'm supposed to be a life coach? How do I know I'll even be good at it? And I remember thinking to myself, like, I broke down. Like, maybe I should just give up. But there was something inside of me that broke at the very thought of walking away from that. There, and I've heard people say this before, the fear of not moving forward and going after what you believe is your purpose is far greater than the fear of doing it. That fear of not doing it far outweighs. And I broke down at the very thought of not pursuing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And every one of us, we were all created for purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Each of us formed by the hands of God, with a plan in mind. And I have heard so many coaches say people are not looking for a purpose, but that's a lie, because you hear about it all the time.
Listen, not only people looking for a purpose, but they're specifically looking for, what is it that God wants from me?
Yes.
So and
Yes.
you and the only way to get that is, quite frankly, you have to pray about it.
Yes.
So
You
that
have
is
to pray
true.
about it, and
You have to pray about it.
you have
And
to
somebody
you have to
feed it.
trust God that He's going to lead you a lot, and it may not happen overnight.
Oh,
You may not see it, you may not understand it, but you have to trust. There's a whole book that has sold millions and billions of books,
the
The
purpose-driven life.
Purpose-Driven Life.
Yeah, which
You
is a good
cannot
book, by
tell
the way,
me.
folks. But wait a
You
minute.
cannot tell me.
We got about 5 more minutes. I want Coach, but thank you, Coach Kimberly. Coach Hattie, I want you to answer that
Absolutely.
question, and then we're gonna play a quick little
So I just wanted to
exit
say,
video, and we're
Kimberly,
out of here.
okay, I just want to say, Kimberly, I totally get it, because there's none of us that's perfect. And I think eventually, the thing that you know that you enjoy doing, that you would do, whether you got paid for it or not, that's a good chance that that's your purpose. And I agree. The times that I wanted to quit, or the times that I was stuck and didn't know what to do in my business, were the times that I felt like committing suicide. Because I felt like, if I'm not going to do what I'm put on this planet to do, then why the hell be here? Right? Because, like you say, the pain of not doing it is much greater.
Yes.
And so I have clients who have been sick so long that they are afraid of getting well. So as soon as they start getting well, they start pulling back. So for me, I realized that my coaching is not simply knowing what's needed to be done in terms of the herbs and the supplements, but I also have to be open, loving, and patient enough to work with my clients through their own blockages, right? So that they get up in the morning, they take their minerals. My sister would always take her drugs, but she would not take her minerals. I had to do some extra work on that. So, but I don't mind because I know that's part of my job, right? Because the more people that I can help get on the other side of this ease, the better our world is going to be. The more we create the heaven on earth that God put us here to do, the more I fulfill my purpose of having a world with freedom, justice, and equality, wellness, and health is the norm. That's all I want. So the more people I get to do that, the more people that will join the movement to become a holistic practitioner. Because we need one in every family, every neighborhood, every church, every school.
Yes.
So any of you out there who understands the importance of becoming a holistic practitioner,
Explain what that is, Coach Hattie.
what that is I have a program that teaches you basically everything that Dr. Joe Wallach knows, why we get sick and how to get on the other side of it. You will know more than most, which is a phenomenal thing. But then that means you can take that information and make sure that your babies are well, that you stop feeding them all that processed foods. It's amazing to me.
Yes.
We know that hot dogs is the butt cancer of America. But we quit giving it to our babies. And I'm like, you won't eat that. So would you get it to your baby? Like, and they're growing. So we got some work to do. But that's my job. And I can't do it by myself. So,
No, and you can't. And we can't. Well, you all, this has been juicy. This has been juicy. Please join me right now in helping me give these ladies their flowers. Do a hand clap. Thank you, power, whatever your word is. I want you to drop it in wherever you are, whether it's LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube. I know several people that are watching from various places. They may not be watching from here, but they shared it from their own Facebook page. But you're watching and you can't speak because you're at work trying to make them coins. But we understand that you are here, and we thank you for not being anywhere else but choosing to be here with us. Let me tell you, these topics are so important. And let me see here. See, these topics are so very important. Dr. Kimberly said, yes, diabetic. These topics are so very important, and we cannot not talk about them, whether it be here or anywhere else. We have to continue the conversation. So we thank you for being here with us tonight. We thank you for everything you're doing, and we want you to come back and see us yet again. So until next time, it's been Dr. Stephanie, Coach Stephanie, Coach Hattie, Coach Kimberly. We want to know you more and get you what you need so that you can be the best version of yourself. Until next time. I'm Dr. Stephanie Wall, or Stephanie Wall, the Tower of Power, your transformation architect. First off, I need you to know this isn't your typical pep talk. I'm not here to give you a list of rules, tips, or cute phrases you can rehearse in the mirror. This right here, this is a soul conversation. And if you lean in, it just might change the way you carry your voice from this moment on. You see, I work with powerhouse women, professional, brilliant, resilient, but even the most polished of us can forget that we are born with a voice that was never meant to play background. We spend so much time trying to sound like what the world says is right, that we forget how powerful we sound when we just speak the truth.